Let's kick off this explainer by zooming way in. We're diving into the microscopic world of the C945. If you've ever tinkered with low-power electronics, you've probably held one of these. Today, we're going to unpack exactly what makes this tiny little device so absolutely crucial to our circuits.
So think about it. Ever wonder what tiny component is actually powering the logic behind almost every DIY electronics project? Well, it's pretty wild, but a single unassuming piece of silicon acts as the foundational building block for everything from your favorite audio amps to simple alarm systems. It's so easy to overlook, but man, this hardware is literally everywhere. All right, here's our roadmap for the day. First, we'll officially meet the C945. Then we'll break down exactly how it works. After that, we'll look at some real-world applications. And finally, we'll wrap up with the pros, cons, and some handy substitutes. Starting right at the top, meet the C945 Transistor, the foundation. Okay, let's just get the jargon out of the way right up front. The C945 is a general-purpose NPN bipolar junction transistor, or, just BJT for short. It comes packaged in your standard TO92 case. You know the one, that little black half-cylinder shape with the 3 metal legs sticking out. At its core, this is a fundamental semiconductor device, and it really just has 2 main jobs: amplifying electrical signals to make them stronger, or acting as an ultra-fast on-off switch. When we look at the specs, you can really see what a workhorse this thing is. It handles up to 50 volts and can sustain 150 milliamp current. Add in a massive gain range, we're talking anywhere between 70 and 700, and an operating temperature pushing 150 degrees Celsius. Honestly, you've got the ultimate low-noise component for your DIY builds right here. Now, obviously, all those great specs don't mean a thing if you wire it up backward. If you look at the flat side with the leads pointing down, you're going to see the emitter on the left, collector in the middle, and base on the right. ECB. But quick side note, always check the data sheet for your specific part, because replacement pinouts from different manufacturers can definitely throw you a curveball.
Moving on to part 2, how the transistor works into the microscopic. To really grasp the magic of amplification, we have to ask a pretty crazy question. How on earth does a minuscule electrical flow at the base dictate a massive flow from the collector to the emitter? It feels like getting something for nothing, right? But it actually all boils down to some brilliant chemistry and physics. So inside that tiny case, you've got 3 distinct semiconductor layers, the N, P, and N layers. The first N layer is the emitter, and its whole job is to actively inject electrons. Then we hit the P layer, the base. The secret sauce here is that this base layer is incredibly thin and super lightly doped, meaning it doesn't trap many electrons at all. It just lets most of them breeze right past. Finally, we reach the second N layer, the collector, which swoops in and catches all those electrons. This exact flow of electrons is what lets the transistor operate in 3 distinct regions, all depending on the base current. First, you have the cutoff region. No base current means the collector current is practically 0. It's totally off. Second is the active region, where a tiny base current forward biases the junction at about 0.7 volts, putting you perfectly into amplifier mode. And third is the saturation region, where you pump in enough base current to turn it fully 100% on. Let's make this a bit more concrete. Think of it exactly like a water valve. 0 base current, the valve is shut tight. That's cut off. Nothing is flowing. If you give the handle a little twist, just a small base current, water starts flowing proportionally. There's your active amplifier mode. But give it enough base current, the voltage drops down to around 0.2 volts, and it's like you cranked that valve wide open. That's saturation. Maximum current just rushing straight through. Let's actually run the numbers for that partially open valve. Say you're in active mode with just a tiny 20 microamp current flowing into the base, and your specific transistor has a gain of 200. The math is beautifully simple. You just multiply them, and boom, you get a 4 milliamp collector current. 20 microamps in, 4 milliamps out. It perfectly proves how a tiny signal completely bosses around a much larger output. Let's pull back out to the macro level. Real-world applications. Zooming back out. Thanks to its super low noise and high gain, the C945 isn't just a textbook example, it is a massive practical powerhouse. You'll constantly spot it acting as the brains and audio amplifier input stages, giving sound signals a really clean start. You'll see it acting as a reliable switch for LEDs, driving relay circuits to control much bigger appliances, and it's an absolute staple in sensor interfaces, like infrared receivers and alarm systems. Which brings us to our final section: pros, cons, and substitutes, the operator's manual. Look, no component is perfect for absolutely everything. The C945 gives you high current gain, super reliable operation, and fantastic switching speeds for practically pennies, but it definitely has its boundaries. You've got to remember it is strictly for low power applications. With a max collector current capping out around 150 milliamps, it just can't drive heavy loads directly. And this is absolutely crucial. You must use a proper base resistor in your circuit, or you will burn this thing out in a heartbeat. Now, if you're digging through your parts bin and can't find a C945, no worries at all. The BC547 or the 2N3904 are fantastic drop-in alternatives. Building an audio circuit? Grab a 2SC1815. Need a bit more juice for higher collector current? The 2N2222 is your best friend. You've got plenty of options.
But hey, real quick before you start swapping parts, a warning to all the hobbyists out there. Blindly subbing in a transistor without double-checking the new pinout is a guaranteed way to let the magic smoke out of your brand new circuit. The C945 is ECB, but some of those substitutes we just talked about are arranged completely differently. So always verify the max voltage, collector current, and pin configuration on the datasheet before flipping the power switch.
And there you have it. We've journeyed all the way from the atomic layers of semiconductors straight through to real-world relay drivers. The C945 really is a brilliant foundational piece of modern electronics. So armed with all this new intel, the only question left is, what kind of incredible circuit are you going to invent next with your 150 milliamps?